The aha moment, when it all comes together, construction safety. Today we have Justin Cote, Managing Partner and President of Lynnwood Roofing. On the Big Safety Short. Can't wait for you to check it out. Welcome to the Big Safety Short, where we delve into cutting-edge strategies and innovation shaping the future of workplace safety in high-risk industries, ensuring we protect people, property, and the environment from serious harm. Welcome back to the Big Safety Short. We have Justin Cote with us again. On the last episode, we were talking about the state of safety in construction. Are we just going through the motions? This episode, we're talking about the aha moment, when it all comes together. Nice to have you, Justin.
Thanks for having me again.
Great. So again, you're a customer of ours. You went through the social technical evaluation. Why don't you tell me about your experience from the whole aspect of conducting the investigation to those aha moments?
Absolutely. So it was very welcome to get another way of looking at safety. So we were kind of excited. I don't think there was anything we weren't expecting to see, but it was really nice to see it put into data.
Okay.
And something that we could then measure and then take action on. And then as we dove into it, so just to go back on that, with that data itself, we learned that, oh my goodness, our company is actually just really lucky. We identified through Intactics that we actually had 2 to 3 high consequence events that weren't necessarily injuries,
right,
but things that could cause serious injury or major damage 2 to 3 times a month. So that was the aha moment of like, oh wow, we're just getting lucky. And it really made sense. We had this gut feel of, something's not working.
Despite,
yeah,
having a core, being on all these registries, even having customers come in and say, no, everything is good. Your gut still said, despite all that, that's kind of like a false sense of assurance. Things just aren't right. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. We do have our core. We have the registries. We go through audits every year. We've even done audits on the registries where they come and they audit our company as well. And we scored quite well, scored high on those. But there was no correlation to our actual safety performance.
But you weren't shocked by that. I mean, it just reaffirmed what your
It reaffirmed and put in we knew that there was something, but we didn't know how many, we didn't know what they were and things like that. So that's where we got a lot of help on that. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but did you find that the sort of dichotomy between everything is good here and then we're having 2 to 3 of these things every month? Like I know a lot of our clients are, to be honest, they're shocked by it. They're outraged. How can we be this bad? That wasn't your experience.
No, I wasn't shocked at how could we be this bad. I was more shocked, like I said, going into it, of how everyone's saying we're so good.
Right.
How can we still have incidents?
Right.
And so this was something that was what helped us identify that. And then we were able to kind of dissect that information and figure out where we're going wrong.
Right.
Right. And so that was that aha moment that put us into action and down the path of how do we fix this.
Right.
Yeah.
So that, of course, what we provided you was a whole new set of performance measures,
yes,
including a culture indicator, which was how effective you are in creating an environment where problems are detected early and always responded to. How did you score on that? Do you remember?
I believe we scored pretty low.
Okay.
At first. And so we've slowly been getting better as we improve things within the company. But we know that we're going in the right direction now.
Right.
And it really did force us to dive deep into our company, into our culture, and really focus on what do we, and we call it the 4 Ps.
Okay.
What do we promote?
Yeah.
What do we praise? What do we pay people for? And what do we penalize people for? Promote them based on certain things that they do. We praise them for certain actions they take. And all of those actions really came down to performance on the project.
Right.
And there were no real safety performance measurements. There were, but they were all lagging indicators, statistics, right?
But you're looking at some of the leading indicators.
I'm looking at some of the
though,
leading
right?
indicators. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many inspections you did, how many training sessions you did, and
Yeah.
all that stuff, right? And,
Yeah.
and then of course the correlation. And I guess just for our audience, because they may not be aware, what Justin is talking about is the science that we bring together, which is really the social technical science. So as we define culture, it's the product of complex social technical interactions that dictate or govern how we do things around here. So really you're talking about the element on the social side.
Yes.
And I know in the last episode you were talking about, how you just focused on, do we change this form or do more of the same to get this? Now you're talking about, and I love the 4 Ps, pay, praise, promotion, and penalize. And how did that impact your workforce primarily?
Yeah, and as we dove into that, we realized, a worker in the field, you can tell them to fill out any form or tell them to act safely, tell them whatever you want, but they will figure out through the culture of the company what is actually important. Right. Because the people who get promoted, the people who get paid more, they act in certain ways, right? And all the others below those people will follow suit because they want to do well by the company. They want to be a good performer, right? And they're quite intelligent. They they act as the ways that we want them to.
Right, so you're actually shaping their behaviors through your actions of getting pay, praise, promotion, and penalize.
Correct. And not just penalize, but what we overlook, what we don't penalize, right? If someone gets away with something, they'll do it again next time.
Or just not paying attention to some of the things.
Yeah.
Like I know we work with a lot of companies. They gather a lot of reports from the field, but then they don't even look at them. So I can't imagine as a worker if I report something that could cause harm to myself or a coworker, and then company ownership, leadership doesn't even respond to that.
Absolutely, yeah. We were guilty of that for sure. We had numerous outreach programs in the company for workers to report things, to communicate back, but with inaction, they just kind of fell by the wayside.
Right. Yeah. So for me, this is fascinating as an applied behavioral scientist, because now you see the dynamics by which you can create culture, and certainly in your position, the things that you do, your own behaviors, how you communicate, and that sense of awareness, was that one of the aha moments of going, oh my gosh,
it was.
What am I doing?
It absolutely was. And we actually, we had, it wasn't funny, but we laughed because we could pinpoint it back to a specific event that caused us as owners to act that way, and to implement those benefit and reward programs in the company. Right. Because in our early years when we had taken over the company from my dad, we had a lot of technical issues and quality control issues. Right. So we were trying to combat that. And so we put in all of these performance measures so that we can improve quality and performance of our installations. And then we realized now all of a sudden, oh my goodness, 10 years later, look at what it's become, right? Right. That is what our workers focus on, to the point where to them, they will make a decision to make sure that roof is sealed tight before they think about their own safety sometimes. And that's a very scary situation to be in as an owner, because we want those workers to be safe and we want them to go home at the end of the day. Yeah.
So again, especially there's one very large organization that, works in Canada, and their corporate values are safety, quality, cost, and schedule. But when you talk to the workers, it becomes cost and schedule and safety, quality, or somewhere down the line there. And what you've realized, part of the aha moment, because I look at those guys and go, it must be the same thing. They truly believe what they say, safety, quality, but then the workers are going, cost, schedule. They're not understanding that dynamic. And even though how it could be an inadvertent saying, safety is important, but get the job done tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. and for us, I think we're fortunate in still being a small enough company that as an ownership group, we're still not too far from the field. So we're able to get that feedback and actually see what's happening out there. Because the larger the organization, the more disconnect you have with the frontline workforce, right? Yeah. They know what is actually happening at the company, right? And so it's us as owners having to really listen at that point, right? And be aware and not be ashamed, because I mean we made those decisions for good reason, but it starts to turn and have a negative implication.
Yeah.
So we have to find that balance and that happy medium, right?
Nice.
So
Nice. So just as a last question, Justin, how has your workers responded to this then?
It's actually been very promising, but it is hard to change behaviors. They were very open to it.
Okay.
They like the fact that they have more say, that they're being listened to, that there's action coming from their reports. But there's still always skepticism. I'll believe it when someone gets promoted for it, or I'll believe it when someone gets paid more for it, or penalized for it, right? And so that's what it comes down to, is within the company, is reinforcing that behavior.
Fantastic. I mean, really what they're looking for is, they want to see you walk the talk. And if you walk the talk, everything's going to be good.
That's right.
Please join us on our next episode, Where Does Construction Safety Need to Go? Where we're going to be talking with Justin again. Justin, where can people get hold of you?
Yeah, they can find me. We have a website, lynnwoodroofing.ca, and our phone number is 403-217-4114. We also do solar, Rocky Mountain Solar Corps. You can give us a call there too.
See you next time. As we conclude the Big Safety Short, remember that prioritizing better safety for better business is a continuous journey. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and together, let's build a safer tomorrow.